All right, what's going on YouTube? Card Collector 2 coming at you here with a brand new video. And this one is going to be another PSA return. So if you all saw my channel last week, I had a PSA sub come back. It was over 100 cards. Overall, a pretty good sub. Lots of cool 10s. Some good timing on some stuff. A lot of different baseball stuff coming back at really the right time. So that worked out well. This is kind of the opposite, or the exact opposite. This sub was not favorable. It did not go my way. Again, Pokemon is certainly not my area of expertise. It's but it's something I find very intriguing. I think the market for it is definitely there right now. So I was definitely interested in sending some of the stuff in. I know a couple months ago I got a PSA sub back of Pokemon. There was quite a bit more 10s, and that stuff sold very, very well. That was really my reason for sending this stuff in. Is if you do well on this kind of on these kind of cards on some of the Pokemon I sent in, the potential is definitely there. So it looks like the market's hot right now. So I still plan on cashing in on some of these while keeping some of these as well. So. Again, if you followed my page for a little while, you know, a couple months back, I acquired a full shadowless set and a full base set. I sent in every shadowless holo, so those are in here. A lot of those weren't in great shape. I just wanted to have the whole set graded in terms of shadowless, so those are included. I sent in a bunch of different Charizards because I plan to put some of those in my store, in my retail store here in Columbus, and then a lot of the other stuff. Excuse me. A lot of the other stuff is just stuff that I thought was grade worthy, and you will see that reflected with quite a few 9s as well as a few 8s here or there. So just unfortunately didn't get quite the 10s that we were hoping for. A good friend of mine who's local sent in a bunch of stuff right around the same time I did, got him back the same time I did, and he sent in 50 cards and got 0 10s. I got a few, but I think it was like 4. So not many 10s overall, and they were honestly not that great of cards. That did end up doing well, but still, win some, lose some, and if I'm going to lose a sub, I'd probably rather lose Pokemon than a fresh batch of, you know, sports cards that got sent in. So, yeah, this is what we got, but I'll flip through them here, give you guys a little preview. So, kind of cool. Some of these really, really pop. It really surprises me. Some of these did not grade as well. Sorry, I had something in my eye. I mean, these cards are like, I mean, this is like flawless. I think a lot of these could be regrade worthy. So some of the buyers, if they buy them, they might tend to benefit off of this. Like a 7. I mean, there's a scratch right there on it, but Articuno. The back's not that bad. I would have expected like an 8 or 9 on that, but I see that scratch in the holo. Ladybug holo. Don't know. Again, I don't know much about these. I'm not going to sit here and pretend to be the expert, but PSA 9. I know these were, I think these are called like reverse holos, or, I mean, I know what a reverse holo is. It's obviously reverse of the holo in there. But I think this set, this like legendary collection is doing pretty well. Again, I try to like pick up on stuff when I can. One of my friends who collects Pokemon has kind of mentioned that this set is hot right now. So there's a 9, looks pretty good. And here's a Sandlash from that same set. That's an 8. I mean, minor mark there. Umbreon holo from the Neo set. Nice looking holo, but I mean, a little more white on that one on the back. Shadowless Arcanine First Edition, an 8.5. Ugh. I mean, I guess there's a little bit of stuff there, but I don't know if I agree with that. I think this is one of those charges I was just like, yeah, I'll just send it in. Ended up getting a 9, but I had a stack of like 5 or 6 charges. I was like, you know what? I don't care if these grade. I just want to send them in, and almost got lucky on that one. Hitmonchan holo. Great looking holo. Got a 9. But I mean, look at the backs of these. What, minor white there, maybe a little there or there. Again, I just felt like a lot of these were pretty close. Blastoise is a 9. No holographic cards got 10s. That was definitely the disappointing part. Dark Crobat got a 9. I mean, some of these backs are... Some of the cleaner ones I think you'll come across. Dark Houndoom. From Neo again. Got an 8. Yuck. First edition, I believe this is, yeah, German. Yeah, it says it. German, first edition. I mean, there's not a mark on this card. Look at that. I mean, like, pristine. And somehow I managed to get a 9, but one thing I found is, I mean, if it does 10, you can definitely do really, really well on it. And Pokemon seems to be hot. I mean, I saw a lot of Pokemon in store, and when I had it on eBay, it sold really, really well too, so these will probably end up on my eBay page. You guys know I'll drop that link down below. For Alligator, which is awesome name. Good looking holo, Japanese, PSA 9. I mean, these are in pretty good shape, so. Another German, first edition, 9. I mean, look at the holo on that one. Really pops. So PSA 9, yeah, that looks great right there. I think I was a little more surprised that, like, I just got so few 10s. A lot of this stuff goes by 2 or 3 people before it goes in. Like, I look at it and I have a couple other people look at it. So this is typically going through, like, 3 sets of eyes before it goes in. So the fact none of them got 10s was, like, a little disappointing. But again, it just goes back to the, are you going to take this or a card order to get terrible grades? Well, I would choose this. Charizard, classic. I mean, you can't go wrong. This is like one of my favorite, if not my favorite card growing up. And then here's another one, too. This one's actually got like a piece missing out of the back. So, I mean, obviously I knew this wasn't a PSA 10. I assure you. So, Red Cheeks, Shadowless Pikachu. Got an 8. Little white down there. So, not great condition, but nonetheless. Another Shadowless, or no, this isn't Shadowless, is it? I can never tell on this card. But pretty good condition overall. First edition 9. Another first edition 9. Just think these cards look really clean. I mean, that's a little dust on there, but there's not really a mark on that card. Entei. Really nice holo, really pops. PSA 9. Very little to no marks. And here's some of the Shadowless stuff. Magneton as a 5. Back's pretty beat up down there. Scratches on the holo, so not really surprised by a lot of those. Hitmonchan 4. I'll end up keeping the Shadowless set together. Machamp Shadowless as a 4. Got a Zapdos as a 7. That's one of the higher grades for the Shadowless. Was a 7. Gyarados as a 4. Then you got a Poliwrath Shadowless as a 7. Actually, I'm really excited to have this as a set. Raichu 7.5, great looking holo. Not a bad looking back. I mean, 7.5. I thought this grader was really tough on this stuff. I'm half tempted to crack every single card and resend every one and see how the grades compare a second time. I'm really, really tempted by it. Chansey as a 2. I mean, this card's obviously beat up. Holo scratched pretty good, but still, I was going to send them all in. This is the highest graded one right here. Nidoking was the only 8 we got out of the entire set. Shadowless. So, not sure what these do, but wanted it slabbed, the whole set. So, Ninetales, Shadowless. And then you got 5, Alakazam. And this is like Nostalgia 101. I'm sure for some of you guys it's the same way too. But like these cards were huge. Man, this is how I first started. This is what got me into cards. Just like the collecting side of cards was Pokemon. They were at school. Then they quickly got banned because kids were stealing them. So it went from Pokemon to sports cards because nobody, you know, you couldn't take those to school. Nobody did it. So Venusaur looks pretty good. I mean, some stuff around the edges, but nice holo. So PSA 6. Then you got a first edition French 6. Edge on that's pretty beat up. Clefairy, Shadowless. Got a 4. This is one I was actually really excited to get back. Shining Charizard. I've owned one of these before. I think the last one was a 1. It sold for like 120 or 130. This one's not in great shape. I mean, it's creased from... I mean, you can see all the crease marks. Crease here. It's got a crease here. It's got another crease. Like right here. See that? Yeah, right there. I mean, it's beat up, but it's slabbed and it's a 2. It'll definitely sell. Then a Shining Tyranitar. Nice looking hollow on that. Very nice. But it's a 4. Typically a 4 is going to imply some sort of crease. Might be this. I'm not sure. I can't really see. Yeah, I think there's one like right in this area. But still, good looking card. And then there we go. There's the Shadowless Charizard. So I got a 5. Obviously not first edition. That's the goal one day, is to get a mid-grade first edition Shadowless. That's really one of the cards I'd love to add to my collection. Man, I love that card. That card right there. There it is. See how it pops. Looks great. Couple more, and we'll wrap it up. I got a 5 Charizard base set. And you got another one. This one's a 6 as a base set. So a couple of those. And then another one. So it's a 7. So what do you get? A 5, 6, 7, and another 7. 5, 6, 2, 5 was Shadowless. Oh well. Reverse foil Gyarados. Pretty sure when I sent this in, this set was popular, my buddy said. But there's an 8. Then a Houndour hollow as a 9 from Neo. Then you got a Blaine Trainer card as a 9. Really nice hollow on that as well. Man, I'm amazed none of these got 10s. These were so close. Magneton hollow first edition French as a 7. That's a good looking 7. I mean, I guess there's some scratches. No, that's dust. That's on my case. There's some scratches on the hollow, but man, a 7? I guess it's scratched pretty good, but man, look at the back. And a mark on the back. So, French Poliwrath Tartard is the name of the card. First edition is an 8. Good looking back. I'm just assuming it's going to be scratched in the hollow. Then we got some of the 10s. You got a Scyther, Neo Discovery, first edition, PSA 10. Obviously, again, not non-hollow. Another first edition one, PSA 10. Or PSA 9, I'm sorry. Probably should be a PSA 10. A lot of those are really clean. Then a first edition German. So I'm sure the international ones will do pretty well, I would imagine. Then you got an Italian Onyx, PSA 8. Again, pretty clean backs on a lot of these. Very, very light play, if any. And then you got a Machamp, first edition Italian, which is interesting because it's non-hollow. Then you got a first edition Italian Pikachu as a 9. So I'm just trying to learn this kind of stuff as I go. I just think it's really interesting. And I think I really like it long term. We'll see. If anybody here really collects Pokemon, I would love to get your insight on like what you think the Pokemon market's like, what you think of this sub, just what you think in general of Pokemon cards at the moment. I don't collect a ton of them. I'm not even trying to pretend that I do. I think they're kind of cool, and I think some of them can be good holds long term. Magnemite first edition Italian, PSA 10. Another 10 is a Raticate first edition. So a couple of first edition ones, a couple Italians, and I think one German. And then a Charizard reverse foil as a 7. There's that. And then a, last but not least, end with a Charizard Sun and Moon PSA 9. So little mark on the corner there makes that a 9. So again, overall, not my best, not my favorite, any stretch of the imagination, but cool to get them back. Beats having them there another month or two and getting the same grade, so might as well capitalize on this. Again, most of these will end up on my eBay page. I will drop that down below. But as always, guys, I appreciate you watching, especially those that watch this, because it's not the typical content I post. But again, trying to be as diverse as possible with the content that I'm producing. So that you guys might enjoy this. But for now, that is all I got, guys. Peace.